we got ourselves another fan factions game. Um, Same settings, Fjords, with no extra scoring, no fire and ice factions. Um, I hope that we have a tacit understanding that no one is supposed to pick the colorless factions here, but I guess you can never really prevent that, right? So we do have deep finesse playing, so it's going to. Uh, my guess is if red is a suitable color in the fourth seat, then we might see an architect's pick. Deep finesse has done very good things with architects, especially on this map. I played him in bullet games, and I'm just like, how are you coming up with like these ridiculous bridge strategies that like I can't even see in like a regular turn-based game, um, over the span of like less than a second, 5 seconds per move. Um, yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. Hopefully, I've played Gorstra a few times on in arena games. I've never played with this character here. He does have pretty good elo. He doesn't have perfect rep, which makes you a little concerned. But hopefully they're safe. They have good rating. They've played a lot of games. So why is their rep not good? They've got 1 quit and 3 timeouts. They've been playing a lot of Barrage, which is another very good strategy game. It's a game that I've wanted to like get a little more into, but I haven't had the time. So we have Wisps in the first seat. Ever since Wisps got their special ability to upgrade it to a double spade instead of a single spade, they've gotten picked a lot more, I've noticed. Um, I imagine that Wisps this game are probably going to start on this tile, and they're going to be able to cult bump once in round 1. Wisps being in the game is very bad for gray factions, I think. Like Wisps don't even need to use a power action to take away either F6 or F8 if they start F7, E8 or something like that. So that's pretty rough. They're a very disruptive faction, um, even for like players who should be theoretically like pretty happy in a color wheel with them. Like a red faction might lose a gray because they're next to Wisps. Like if it's D3, D4, right, Wisps might upgrade and then just transform this guy to blue just to be jerks in round 1. We get djinni in the second seat. Djinni are very good if you have one. I don't know that these rewards are great, but they can start with 2 steps on air, and that's very helpful. Um, there's no big building tile in the game and no mid-game big building events, so they're not going to get as many passing points just by making their stronghold, but still, it's kind of cool. I'm going to follow my trend as before and toss in a... Yeah, I'm going to do what I did last time and just toss in a base green faction. With round 6 towns, I think this will be fun for witches. I think djinni, they're a very strong faction. Did I call this or what, by the way? I think I totally called Deep Finesse playing architects here. So I think architects will be strong. I think wisps. I think djinni will be a little worse than you might expect this game. The best part about their game is that they can open the game with double spade. There's 3 power tiles. Oh, actually, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, the djinni should be able to open the game with a double spade. Witches probably want to just. I'm trying to figure out how many coins are in this game, right? Like witches could open with this and the stronghold. I didn't even notice that. This is actually better for witches than I even realized, right? Because they have the stronghold event and the arrow workers. They're gonna go stronghold then temple. You probably start F8 to avoid wisps just bombing you on E8 in round 1 immediately. I think that the game plan is the clearest for the witches. So I think I'm willing to bid them down like 5 to 10 points compared to these other guys. Especially the djinni. I think that djinnis really struggle to make towns. Fakirs and nomads are okay. Fakirs don't need a lot of towns, and nomads have a stronghold, which is really good on Fjord. But otherwise, I guess they can try to double dig this G5 hex. Like, this can be a town. If you double dig G5, then you get a town through here. Maybe with one of these two. And then there's a town here, and then there's maybe a town here, but it requires a ton of shipping. We also have to keep in mind that these reds are actually pretty difficult to secure with architects in the game. Because architects likely could just start E5, D3, and then you're in some trouble. I think that this bid on wisps is pretty good. I don't want to just constantly bid the base factions, I suppose. Last game we did switch to Orin, but paying this much just to play a base faction might not be the right call here. I also just realized that even though wisps can bomb your hex to the wrong color, if you're witches, then you can still respond with a single dig, because wisps can't just build it right away. So they actually don't have quite as nice of a time like smashing your hexes as you might think. Defense is going for the djinni. Again, djinni are getting double dig. Djinni will have very good cult rewards. That's kind of the upside there. Let's look at the pass tiles. So we're looking at probably architects. Djinni. That would be my guess. And then djinni try to come through here and do this. Architects try to make a town like this. Wisps probably start F7. And it's not clear. Well, okay, so architects are going to start here and here, probably. They're going to start with the priest, probably. They could take worker power. Now, architects do start with 9 in both, too. Oh, wow, wait, djinni no longer have 9 in bowl 2. Okay, so architects should probably start with this and worker power then. That's actually very good for architects. But yeah, I think that with architects, you probably want to go like this to make a town. You might want to go here to make a town. This becomes a 1 spade. Your starting cults are fire and air. So, I mean, there's a lot of factions here that are actually, everyone's going to start with at least 1 step on the air cult. These 2 guys are going to start with 2 on the air cult. So whoever gets the priest is going to be pretty happy. Architects should probably take worker power just to secure a double dig. Then they dig like C6. And I don't know, they just like hit a random hex or something. They don't actually make very good use of double dig in round 1. That's the kind of awkward part about architects here. I assume that they want to start on these 2 hexes. And then their towns are here for sure. Then probably here, and then maybe you get over here and then make a town, bridge town through here or something. I think architects are definitely going to be good. And I think that you might not value, maybe you just don't value the single spade that high, the double spade that highly, and instead you start with a priest. And you put the priest to air, and then you maybe try to get a single spade onto the C6. Deep Finesse, I think, might just be going to architects now. I think that the priest to air strategy is quite strong. As witches, I think I would actually take worker power here. Yeah, I think I would take worker power here as witches. But I mean, if the priest is left, then I think I'm taking the priest. I don't think I'm taking temp ship. Because while there are coins on the pass, I'm not convinced that I would have a fast enough round to get onto a coins tile. And I really want to be able to have the workers to make this, the coins to make this temple. So if I get bit off of witches, which I do expect to happen, then I think I'm willing to just try out architects. I'm saying this as much for my reminder as for like anyone else's. The plan for architects is pre-air, still dig C6, and then make a temple for. It could be air 2. Air 2 would be kind of fun, I think. It's like relatively. There's a decent number of coins in this game, so DFNS is ready to go to architects. I sense that he's ready to go for architects. Ooh. Okay, let's see. We're probably getting wisps here. If they hit us on C6, we could just lose the game. That's a huge downside. That's like huge downside risk to playing architects here. Is it good enough for wisps to do that? Probably, right? They hit this hex, and then they transform this. Then they hit this, and then they turn these two hexes. The downside risk is huge. Witches are ironically a little less affected than wisps by the C6 take. Now, is C6 good? Again, it could be. The other wisp starting location is probably G6, and then they might mess with these guys, and then that hurts djinni. The existence of wisps is very tricky to navigate here. I do wonder how hard DFNS wants to block me if he's on wisps. I guess like I don't know about this player either. So like the thing is the wisps architect interaction, like this C6 hex is so key in this matchup. We're gonna see like how that shakes out this game. Yeah, we're gonna see how this C6 thing shakes out. But if I do get bit off of witches again, then I am willing to try out architects. I think that they're fun. And I really want to give them a shot. But I do think that DFNS, now that he's on architects, or now that DFNS is free again, I think that he's fairly likely to go for them. The priest air is really good because it comes with 2 workers, 2 coins, and a spade. That is crazy good value for 1 priest to air. Interestingly, I think that this is a good game for, while there's no Earth Cult rewards, I think that this is not an awful game for Earth 2. And my reasoning is that this track actually encourages us to build pretty tall. This track says build up, especially like even if you build a bunch of dwellings here instead of this or this, this still encourages you to build TPs, and you really want to score dwellings later. So that makes it a little awkward for witches, and I would say it also kind of encourages you to, like, how are you going to get your workers? Earth 2 is not the worst way, especially given that there's no workers here other than here, and there's no workers here either. So, but none of these guys really wants Earth 2. That's like the downside, right? Can anyone open with a stronghold other than witches? Probably not, I would think. This lets you move bridges, which is like, okay. So for witches, we didn't talk about where our towns go, but presumably one goes here with a bridge, one is up here, you got architect as a neighbor, and then one is somewhere here. Like, it's a little awkward for witches because you probably don't get the center town with wisps in the game. Though again, wisps likely have to seed you this hex. They might take away D5. That's actually more of a likely situation, that wisps are here and then they hit C6, D5 with their transformation or something. But then maybe you get this town. We really don't know where wisps are going to be. I think that F5 is the right starting spot, though. Okay, so DFNS does go on architects. And we're going to see if wisps annihilate architects in round 1. But yeah, I think that f5, f8 is the way to go. It's either a bridge town or we get to dig through some stuff nicely. And then, depending on where wisps are, I guess they're probably on e4. Maybe we fly to f3 in round 1, try to secure this hex, and then we can try to make a town through here. It does make connection quite awkward. That is clearly the downside of this. Maybe we're interested in a town that goes down through here. That could work. This looks incredibly good for architects. The fact that, God, this looks, guys, I am sad right now. I'm sad about this. Why were architects allowed to get away with this, guys? They should not have been allowed to get this. This makes us very sad. Okay, so enough carping now. This worker power tile allows us to threaten a single spade. And I think that might be important for us, so let's stay tuned for that. Wisps by starting g6, like, they take away the possibility of me carving a town here, or like they make it harder for me to carve a town through here. But if I can get this g5 hex, that's actually like, that would make a town here. If wisps turn this guy to blue with one of their actions, they're more likely to turn this. I guess they're definitely going to turn this to blue. Djinni start with this, which has to mean that they're looking to make a dig in round 1, which means that I'm probably not getting a dig, which means that wisps are going to be safe. I don't know if they see that. You've all raced, yeah. People are always nice to deep finesse. You're not wrong. It's just like this is what NerdCube did all the time too, right? It's like it would just be so frustrating because it's like, no, he's already the best player in the game. You don't need to give him this. But you know what? This is why he's the best player in the game. He knows that this is going to happen somehow. It's big finesse. So Gorsha is pretty sad about his faction getting like nerfed pretty badly. I don't blame him for that. So deep finesse is going to get. We're going to see where yellow upgrades. I have to decide whether to give wisps the leech or to give the leech here. Okay, so yeah. A olive, yeah, goes for G7, which is funny. It's kind of cowardly, but I greatly approve of this naturally. This is very good for me because now there's no threat on this. And we're just going to upgrade on F8. And that'll keep wisps away from taking this hex too. If djinni upgrade down here, then I'm going to upgrade F5, because that means Deep Finesse is not likely to be able to get the double spade. Okay, so I think the play is upgrade here. Wisps will not be able to get Leech with their first action. I could also just secure the single spade here, but Wisps have used up their 2 spades from this, so this hex is no longer under threat. So I should be able to get this at my leisure. So now I'm curious about this hex. And getting that hex probably means vying for the double spade. Doing this gives the opportunity for wisps to take this hex, or to take the single spade here. I'm not sure if they would, but I'm a little concerned about it. Wisps should not have the opportunity to get a single spade here. What's going to happen? Djinni are going to get the double spade. They're going to get this. This is going to happen, right? Djinni are going to get a double spade. Because architects probably upgrade here instead of here. Which means that djinni get a double spade. They take 2 random hexes. And then I am forced to settle for e8. And then I'm probably not getting g5. But maybe wisps just remain too scared to take g5. I don't know. I didn't expect to have such a tough decision on my first upgrade. This makes me deeply, deeply uncomfortable, but no one ever got rich by being scared, so let's see how this plays. Oh, I just realized that this is bad. This is actually quite bad, because, yeah, that was really dumb of me. Why did I do that? Because I'm never beating architects in this hex, so that was pretty foolish. I do get the double spade, and I can get g5 now, but I was never getting g4. Also, I could just get spade blocked now, because if wisps temple for Earth 1, which I don't see why they wouldn't necessarily, it does seem reasonably likely that they can temple for Earth 1. Or a stronghold. Okay. That doesn't seem good. Maybe they come down here? This seems like the spot to stronghold, too. They come up there. Ooh. Yeah, that's annoying. Well, okay. So yeah, and djinni now do have access to the double spade. Man, this is not how I saw this going down. Like, I should have just dug e8. Or I could have just upgraded f4. I just made a bunch of wrong reads here. Yep, there it is. That was definitely a mistake. I should have just grabbed e5 there. And I also shouldn't have upgraded this hex. I should have upgraded F8. So definitely we've made some mistakes here. There's the priest to air for Deep Finesse. Deep Finesse is weighing his options right now. He doesn't want to commit to where he wants to upgrade yet. Can I open Stronghold Temple here? That's my new goal. No, I cannot because wisps just stole the workers. Okay. So I think our plan is now take the priest, send the priest to air, then take the coins. Yeah, that's the new plan. Djinni take air too, that's pretty neat. Deep Finesse hard digs, I love this. I love that. This is the legendary Ondas opening. Let's just grab I6 here. Actually, no, we can take F3. F3 is a pretty safe town spot now. Wisps have used up their flight, so they can't block E4. I actually think that E4 could have been really good for wisps. This move is bad for both me and wisps, I think. They're going to get a better town here, but like maybe they're thinking to make a town like through here. Okay, wisps pass. I'm probably not getting any leech next round, so if I want a spade, then I can't take the... I probably just have to assume, like, accept that I'm losing these hexes. That said, if I don't take the coins here, and I pass on to like this, then I am going to have access to a double spade next round. The only thing is that I know where to put a double spade, so... In any case, just come over here. This is good town positioning, I think. Architects pass onto that. I could take the priest here, so it's between the priest and temp ship for me. The priest has 2 coins, and that 2 coins will give me the power to double spade. I do have reason to double spade now, though likely E8 goes away. I guess B4 is the spot, right? I can try to beat wisps up to A5, and then I have a town through here. So then I'm looking at a bridge town here, a 4 hex town here, and a 3 hex town up here. Maybe I can try to get these. They're cheap digs, but I think that those will just be for network considerations. That means not taking the coins now, and that feels sad. I think I want coins, because there's no coins next round. So ultimately the question here is, do I want spades next round, or do I want coins right now? It's always a tough question when it comes to being witches, almost specifically. Can I postpone taking the coins? I can postpone taking the coins. No one's taking coins yet, early next round. Okay. Let's table that decision. we may or may not see an Earth 1 rush here. I'm curious. Wisps could upgrade D4 and then transform this, but they'd probably be safer transforming this and this, though I could fly up to C6 and really hurt them. So let's see what they choose to turn here. Because if they turn E8, then there's a very high chance that I single spade this guy away. They can't trust that architects are going to be nice, like do the right thing. Like architects could, okay, they spade D5, which is the right move. So they're going to try to make two separate towns here. I kind of wish that they had gone for C5, C6, just selfishly. Because I feel like that actually is the best way for them to make this town, if they want a separate town up here. So I'm pretty disappointed in this, because, yeah, I really think that wisps have hit C6. Architects were not going to dig this back. It would have let me get this, which is very nice to me. However, like, wisps can still get this town very easily. In fact, more easily, because then they have neighbors for TPs. I'm not going to give them a neighbor for this TP now. Deep Finesse grabs coins, which I was not expecting. Let's start making our temple. We have some tempo right now. I was thinking that the priest was going to air, but now I'm not sure. This game is a mess. It's an absolute mess. I'm not proud of what I've done here. I do need to secure I6 this round, probably. Seems like the right thing to do. I do think it's pretty likely that we're about to see our highest rated friend here win this game. Not only is he the strongest player at the table, which never hurts, he also just appears to be in the strongest position. Like after, yeah, he continues to hard dig, which is really fun. Okay, so he still doesn't have tempo on Earth 1, which means that I can put a priest either onto a cult or onto the air track. The djinni might switch away, in which case I would probably win air. Air also gives me more power than the other two, so I think that it actually is air. The extra power is meaningful here, and it doesn't appear that I'm getting other leech, so wisps grabbed Earth 1. Good for them. So I think we're going temple, fly I6 this round. Wisps by a priest. That might be to advance shipping. Or they just might be seeing that there's a reward here, so why not just send this priest somewhere else? That seems fine as well. God, architects are getting absurd leech. Absolutely absurd. This is really disappointing to me that wisps didn't bomb this hex. After taking d4, This is just so bad in comparison to taking this. It's just really, really bad in comparison. Of course, I'm losing this now. Oh wow, I'm getting a raid from Lumen. Thank you, Lumen. Welcome everyone here. We're playing some fan faction Terra Mystica here, and we're getting blown out of the water by Deep Finesse and my opponent's decisions right now. So hopefully you guys enjoy whining because you're about to get a lot of it. We are going to take Earth 1. And I believe that it's I6. Deep Finesse has his economy figured out. Fan factions, which is Lumen. Last game, actually, I streamed another fan factions game earlier today, and everyone else picked a different faction. I picked Orin, so that did happen. But I mean, I just think that like, in order to really get an appreciation for the fan factions, I think that you have to play them alongside some like old factions, just to get like a feeling for what's actually, like what's right. Like, how do you calibrate if you don't have like a benchmark? Yeah, one or two fan factions feels like a better mix of actual testing. Agreed. Now that said, I mean, I'm not really like, I'm not playtesting these factions, right? Like, I think that these factions are pretty good as is. I'm just trying to get used to them and like learn a little bit and like just learn how to play the game a little better. So far, I think that that's it's fun. I can definitely answer that they are fun to play with. Defense grabs water 1. I think that was the right read. I do want to lock this up. Soon, Deep Finesse will be advancing ship and getting this. Next round, he probably is going to be the one taking coins. Djinni are probably taking spades next round and not coins. Heroic Logic, welcome. How are you? So, I think it's probably time for our red friends to pass. They're going to pass onto the coins. Or they could pass on a temp ship. Getting B5 would be pretty good, but no, they do pass onto the coins. So now we have a choice. We can take temp ship, which is good for expansion, or we can just take some points. And I am leaning toward just taking these points because I would actually really like to get temp ship going in one of the dwelling rounds. So the one good thing about temp ship is that it does give us a play at the double spade, but I don't think I'm getting offered the double spade. Though, okay, here's the real thing about temp ship. The real thing about temp ship is that I could lose D1, and that would be quite a bummer actually. Because D1 is one of my cheaper hexes to make this town. I think architects do want that. So against my better instincts, I think I'm going to go here. Yeah. You know what? By that point, I should be able to manually advance ship. I should be able to manually advance ship to reach D2, G9 in the rounds where I need it. So I'm going to say I take the better economy now. I double spade these two hexes, and we see where it goes. That, of course, is assuming that wisps don't take the double spade. Again, they very well could. They probably need some spades at some point, so I would love to see wisps double spade this hex here. They don't actually have two hexes that they can build on with a double spade, which is part of why I think that they were kind of bad here. Yellow is just like not necessarily that good on this map unless they're fakirs or nomads. They take coins. Okay. So what do architects do here? Architects might want another temple. They have great economy and it's a TP round. So they could build like 2 TPs. They could even build 3 TPs, advanced ship. They probably want to bridge here, right? I think bridging A8 makes a lot of sense here. Game with deep finesse should be interesting. A game with deep finesse is always interesting, I think. I made a very poor read in upgrading this to a stronghold instead of this. Deep finesse wound up taking the single spade and hard digging in round 1. It was a very cool opening. He just built this line along the priest to air, so he had a monster number of workers. This was an air workers event. I think deep finesse should be recognizing that he's losing D1 this round. So there's a slight awkwardness that building this with a TP and 2 dwellings does lose you your town, or forms your town a little too early. But I don't think that should really stop him from going that line. We're going to see how he plays this, though. I'm quite interested to see what deep finesse's plan is here. By the way, very clearly I should have just taken the coins in round 1. I'm feeling sad about that decision. We're also not getting to make TPs in a TP round. I don't think that I'm going to have coins to do that this round. And not having coins after a TP round is also an issue. So lots of things to be sad about right now. Which is not to say that I'm not going to just... Yeah, okay, so deep finesse does buy a bridge, which is what I was thinking might happen here. So there's no threat on the double spade. I can probably put a priest to a cult here. And I think that the earth cult makes sense, because I already have a step on earth. Fire could make sense as well, because I do want fire 2 this game, very likely. It also competes with deep finesse, which I kind of want to do. I think I kind of want to compete with deep finesse this game. But maybe I just need to worry more about myself first. This is always a tough decision. It's the same amount of power up front. There is technically this reward, so I think that is the fire cult. Okay. So the double spade is coming next. I assume that it's probably a 2-key town for architects, right? Like this early in the game, you probably just want a 2-key town. Architects can put priest to earth, win that easily. Then they can get steps on air. We'll see what they choose to do here. They can also still not town early. They can just make 2 TPs and build 2 dwellings, and then advance it strictly. Whoa. This is water 1, I assume. Should we rush water 1? I have doubts about rushing water 1. You would have doubts about rushing water 1 heroic logic? Yeah, it doesn't feel that great. I don't really like to rush favors here. I think probably what we do here is we just fly to D1, or maybe we fly here. Wisps took a single spade. See, like, this is why you should have just taken C6, dude. Just take C6, then you have a neighbor to build TPs, then you get C5, and then you still have to single spade C7 just the same. Like, This D5 hex is so bad, it cut me off from coming up here, which is like bad for me. But it's also bad for wisps because they lost this, and this is... Wow. Okay, wisps are playing very culty. They're gonna get 2 spades off the cult, so good for them. I guess. I say that kind of sarcastically, I guess. So there's 2 scoring tiles available. The djinni are going to pop onto one of them. So we need to be prepared to take for the other one. Wow, djinni are so tall right now. But it is dwelling rounds coming up, so if they can get on this and then take a coins action, advance ship twice, and then build this, they'll have spades, so they'll be able to build like this as well. Then they can try to carve through here. I don't know, this could work out for djinni. Architects could double advanced ship and get to b5 this round. That would be sad times for me. But they should make another TP. It's a TP round. It is a TP round, but I think that they should probably just make F4 or something. Or this is going to be the mother of all leeches that we're about to take. Oh, wait, hold on. We need to build this hex so that we have a place to put our cult spade. And that cult spade is going on A5. That will turn this into our town here. This lays a pretty decent claim, I think, to making this our town. Defense is going to give me a hilarious amount of leech, and I am going to take it, in case you were wondering. I am going to take that leech, because I'm witches. If I can get 3 towns as witches, then anything is worth it, right? God, this is so bad. This is so bad for wisps. God, I hate this so much. Just make a sanctuary for fire too. Just like dig through this town instead. Oh, I hate this so much for wisps. I think we do want to make this TP, because next round we might not be able to. Okay, we do get this mother of all leeches that we were talking about. Yes, please. And if you'd like to make that bigger next time, I will accept that as well. Oh, djinni got to 2 ship. Okay, so that's cool. So they can... Well, it's still not clear where they're going to put their spades on, but it is clear that they're going to take this. Architects probably pass next and take this. And then I get some coins. So I get a high coin tile next round, which is good news for me anyway, because then I can advance ship, build D2, G9, consider templing here. So next round my plan is advance ship, build, maybe fly here. But maybe don't fly there just yet, because I do need some assurances that I have enough structures to build my towns. Because I need 4 structures here, even with the bridge. This is a 4 hex structure here. Oh, wisps passed. Okay. Okay, so it looks like I'm getting this, which is fine. That's almost as many coins, and the cult step can be useful for stalling, so... I kind of assume that what's going to happen is we're going to see a water 1 rush here, and I think I'm okay with that. But if they don't take water 1, then I do have to put some thought into taking water 1 myself. There is another dwellings round coming up, and I do have a decent amount of worker income. I can fly anyway. So investing in water 1 isn't the worst idea, I think. I'm going to want 15 structures this game. I don't know if I can get it, but that's my dream, right? So, okay, wisps get onto temp ship, which is nice for them. Probably the best economic thing for them at this point. So, take this away. There's no way that B5 doesn't get built this round. Like there's definitely a world where Deep Finesse is really sneaky and doesn't build B5, but with temp ship, I think that he's very likely to. Because he took temp ship, I think it's likely that he does build B5. He could town and then build like A7, B5, C3. He could avoid B5 entirely if he just plays a 3-ship game plan. But he can't really get to 3-ship effectively without towning early. I mean, he can town early. Like, there's nothing stopping him from doing that. But wisps can't take a good power action. They send priest to fire, which, God, I hate that. Because, guys, stay away. I took the 3 spot. The rules are, if someone takes a 3 spot, then it's their cult. Djinni do take the coins. Like they're supposed to. We will advance our ship here, just so that we can build these dwellings, I think. At some point, we need to get a coins action, but when will that be? Who knows? We have a cult bump that we can use that probably goes on the fire track. I just noticed this. So, yep, this is also not going to be good for our friends, the wisps. Or the, yeah. Though, I mean, the neighbor is good for wisps. Yeah, we're just going to go A5, D2, G9 this round, I think. Maybe we can float D2. We don't really need this hex. And why give the leech there? Okay, so we have a hard dig. Dude, you need another TP here anyway. Just spend the extra 3 coins and make this TP instead of hard digging. Whatever. I guess they can now ship to here, except they don't have a priest. Deep Finesse is at 3 ship? When did that happen? Maybe we should get onto C2 to accept some leech. When did that happen? I guess he advanced ship at the end of last round. Yeah, he did. Okay. So he actually is going to avoid building this B5 hex then. So I should get on here early. I don't want Deep Finesse making a town through here with these hexes. So for anyone wondering about my thought process here, my thought process here is that Deep Finesse might want to take F9 and then come through here for a town or something. This should dissuade him because I do want to town through like these hexes or something. At this point, E8 is might also be part of that game plan. This H7 can, yeah, so basically Deep Finesse and I right now, I think, are playing this game of leech, where it's like we want to be neighbors to each other in all the same places. The question is just a matter of like who's going to get there first. So who's going to be getting leech as opposed to receiving it. Doing this. As you notice, I have clearly decided not to take Water 1 this round. It's just not a priority. Next round, Water 1 becomes a priority, I think, if I can get coins. Which, you know, who knows. This is... Wisps worked so hard not to make an expensive TP, and now, like, this is happening. They should have just taken C6. I'm just so mad about this C6 hex, guys. I'm just so mad about it. I still need to build 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 structures. So there's 1 here, 2 here. Maybe this is the better town than this now, but I've kind of committed a little bit. Architects want to make a town through here, and they would love to have me as a neighbor for that dream. They really don't need this B5 hex, huh? They can connect without it with A7. We do want to use our flight, but let's grab E8. This just seems good, right? This seems like a good hex to have. Like, towning is easier that way. We do need to at least lock up 2 towns, so this helps us to do that. I don't think architects could take a bridge here. They could easily bridge E3, so let's secure the bridge. I think that's what we do here. Next, we'll hard dig E8. No one's taking E8 here. And then we'll fly to C2, I guess. Or D2 first. Yeah, we'll hard dig this. We'll fly here. Then we'll try to just pass on some more coins. Oh boy. Actually, you know what? Screw it. I'm not hard digging that hex. I'm flying to C2. It doesn't make sense to dig this hex. Yeah. No one's taking this hex. So we're going to fly to C2, and then we're going to pass. Deep Finesse. I think Deep Finesse would have considered bridging E3 very strongly just now. So I do think I slowed him down a little bit there. That's why there's some thinking going on. He can now build either H7 or E1. Wisps next round are probably going to make a TP and then build F6. It's very possible we're not getting out as many structures as we thought we were. Deep Finesse now passes. I think that also makes a lot of sense. He already has all his dwellings out. So yeah, he really doesn't have to give me this neighbor, so I really am in some trouble. This town is legitimately just better. It's also only 2 digs. I just need to make sure I get all my structures out here. Let's see if it plays out. Djinni, give me the air cult. That seems delightful. Yeah, it's not too late for this to be good. I don't know why these two have taken such long rounds, but they have. You know how I was talking about taking Water 1, guys? The economy does not agree with me. The current state of my economy does not agree with that theory. The current state of my economy also doesn't particularly agree with the theory that I'm going to be making 3 towns. I think it's turning into a 2 towns game plan. We're going to Sanctuary Fire 2 for 2 towns. Okay, so we're last. So the cult bump is going to go on fire, clearly. None of these guys is really useful to me, so I think that it's just going to be this. Yeah, there's clearly not enough stuff left for us to be thinking about 3 towns and trying to connect, I think. Unless we town early, we could Sanctuary Fire 2 here and get a coin town. That might be able to help us. So I could put Priest here, Sanctuary Fire 2 for a coin town, come in here, dig this, then make 2 TPs. That all doesn't seem that great, huh? Sanctuarying early for a coin town is like 3 points worse because I'm taking a worse town. And it's 5 points worse because I'm missing out on this. The real question is, am I going to get better network because of it? What the hell just happened? Did this seriously just happen here? Buddy, you're allowed to ship, you know? Like, shipping is pretty good in this game. You could have gotten I5. I don't know what this is about, but, I mean, I can certainly use that leech. Sanctuary for the coin town now becomes, now looks a little better? Or a ship town, right? A ship town is actually better than a coin town. Which, I mean, I'll take this. But why are you not just, like, making this and then turning this to blue? I don't really understand that. We're trying to come down here. This is a 3 dig town, but wisps have natural digs. This clearly is a town here. I don't know. I don't really like the way that was played, but I do like that it seems pretty good for me. Djinni close out the water cult, which doesn't seem great to me, but I'm okay with my opponents making decisions I don't think are great. Yeah, I think that we need to town a little early here. It's okay. I'm not going to manually advance ship here, but I think that taking taking Fire 2 to lock up the Fire Cult here is perfectly fine. I also get a ship town, and I get compensated 3 points. Yeah, I got a compensation of 3 points by taking Fire 2. The real issue is that I really wanted Water 1, but it doesn't look like that's in the cards. Okay, we get some leech over here. We had some vague dreams about this town here, but again, it just doesn't really look like we have the stuff for it. Like, hypothetically, we still could aim for it, but... Okay, so... Do we want a sanctuary at all? can we just go for G3 instead? Should this really be temple for water 1, then G3, and then the coin town is here, and then I can make a 3 hex town over here, or a 5 hex town over here. It's a lot of digging, which I don't like. But I can make a 3 TP town over here with a temple, TP, 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 TP. I like that. I like the sounds of that. It's 2 extra digs. That's what I don't like about it. So yeah, do we want the temple or do we want the sanctuary? The sanctuary costs us a lot of extra workers. It costs us 6 extra workers to take the temple versus the TP. But it means that we don't need fire 2. It means that we get water 1 instead. Water 1 is probably going to be around 12 points. Maybe not, because there's so much left to do this game that I'm not sure. I mean, like, water 1 is at least, yeah. Wisps aren't taking water 1, so we can float that decision, I think. This would be 7 workers, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 of my workers will be sunk into this. Then I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 workers to make this town. Let's subtract off 2 because I have these. I think that might be a little too ambitious. Let's just go with plan A. So, we were talking about taking the ship town before, but can I get away with a coin town instead? A coin town plus buying a priest would be pretty nice here instead of a ship town, because I want to have a longer round anyway, because the djinni are sitting on the other pass tile. I think coin town lets me do a little more stuff, and I think that doing a little more stuff is good here. Locks, do I really need the coins instead of the 5 VP next round? That is a great question. That is a very good question. I do not know the answer to that question. I did this because I am on the shipping VP pass tile. And because I'm on the shipping, like, I would love to get to 2 ship here. Red alert, coin town plus the priest action is -1 coin overall. You are correct. Part of my math there was I actually want to have a longer round. So round length is actually playing into my valuations here. Like my next action is going to be hard dig this, then fly here. Or hard dig H5 just to green, and then fly there. There's 2 actions upcoming. But you obviously make a valid point, which is that I lost a point there, or lost a coin there. My point situation does not look good. Wisps are doing as well as we are, so it's not what we like to see. We are going to transform this. Djinni should not mess with us here. Do not build. Definess obviously looks like he's preparing a pass for my tile. Finesse builds e2 before e3. I guess he does see that I could block him on e2, so that's fine. I don't care. He's doing good stuff. I'm not going to worry about deep finesse. Priests get thrown out to the earth track. I think that we did want to take a priest here, but we also want to fly. I think that we want to fly more than we want to take the priest, because guess what? No one can take the priest. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess this makes sense, but this is really sad for me. Because obviously this just gave 4 points to wisps and took 4 points away from me. Oh, I just realized that Fire 2 came with some nice bonuses. That's cool. Anyway, yeah, no one should be able to take the priest action, so I'm good here. We'll buy the priest, we'll advance ship, and we'll make a TP if we're allowed. If we have time to. Now Deep Finesse can build e3. It all seems good. I mean, he's obviously crushing this game. No question there. F6 is finally going to get turned blue. Ooh, our djinni coming for a town down here. They don't have advanced digs, but they just hard dug, so they can just double hard dig this next round and then make another town. Wow. Yeah, I think this might be a 4th place here. This doesn't look good, guys. We need this priest anyway. And we need to pay attention because we're in danger of power overflow. So we shouldn't be too willing to take leech right now. Part of the thinking is that witches are supposed to win network, but obviously this doesn't look like a network winning witches game. If I just had the sense to start F3 instead of F5, well, I mean, if I don't start F5, then I don't connect. Really what was supposed to happen is I was supposed to upgrade F8 and not this. And it does look like I'm supposed to pass now. So ultimately, it does look like I was wrong to ultimately, it looks like the ship town is wrong. It was supposed to be the coin town, or the coin town is wrong. It was supposed to be the ship town. So that's sad. Architects are going to get down to 3 structures, or 2 structures probably. Actually, it might be 3 structures, so I can still tie them on network, I think. If I get the coins here, because djinni do want spades, they're probably going to double spade this, so I'm going to get the coins. Deep Finesse will probably open with... Deep Finesse doesn't need Fire 2, so we're probably going to see him not build Fire 2, and he'll just Temple for Air 1 or something, or Stronghold. Stronghold might actually just be the way for Deep Finesse. Stronghold here, TP here, Dwelling here, and then those are your towns. You think that this should have been a delayed town until I ran out of actions? I mean, you might be right. You could totally be right, Lux. I think that making a town early was definitely bold and very possibly wrong. I don't dispute that for a second. I probably can't justify taking a gigantic leech on f4 anymore. Though I suppose deep finesse will probably make the stronghold down here. Though I think that if I were deep finesse, I would probably start with a7, make a town, get an 8-pointer. So I'm thinking that if I'm deep finesse, my first move is 8-pointer on a7. My next move is stronghold on c3, and my next move is TP on e5 for another 8-pointer. Let us see if it plays out that way. Because right now, yeah, the cults are wide open right now, so. It's fire too. It's interesting. It does get both 8-pointers right away, which is also really sad for me because I lose this. I guess deep finesse is just saying that the temple and towns is more important here, and I can't disagree too hard with him. The question is now, can I get down to 2 structures? The answer to that is almost certainly no. Wow, what the? I guess this avoids having to make a sanctuary. I mean, sure, go knock yourself out. Like, I'm okay with that. All right, let's see if we can afford a temple for water 1 here. I'm thinking that the answer to that is probably no. Yeah, I don't think that we can actually afford water 1 here. Can we afford a 3rd town? Third town is probably here. So it involves getting this hex. This is 4 hexes worth of digging. It's 3 hexes worth of digging, right? 1, 2, 3 hexes of digging. It's 2 TPs here, 2 TPs here. I already have a TP locked up. That's never happening. If we want to just hit hexes, then we can get D2, H1, I2 along with a hex that we hard dig here. So that'll be water 1 is 5, plus 12 is 17, plus 3 plus this is 24 coins. And then that's without 2 ship advances. Yeah, okay, so water 1 isn't happening. God, how do we do this to ourselves? How do we wind up in this position? How do we get into this position where we're losing to this wisps player? This probably should just be the 11-pointer. Actually, I'm like fairly certain that it should just be the 11-pointer. Maybe, yeah. Do I care if they build E8? They could get down to 3 structures, huh? They can advance ship, build I5, or so it's E8, advance ship, build I5, TP, I4, TP, I3. They don't have enough TPs for that, but they only need 1 TP. It's okay, dwelling, dwelling, TP, dwelling, dwelling. Dwelling, dwelling, so that's 4 dwellings, 1 TP. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Plus a ship advance. They don't quite have that. I think if they get a little too spicy, then I just hard dig I5 or something. Because I do need to protect myself a little bit. The other coin town is gone. But they don't have the stuff to take this. That's the thing. So ultimately, it looks like a big mistake of mine this game was not taking the coins in round 1. If I just take the coins in round 1, I didn't wind up getting spades in round 2 anyway. So that I think that was a big mistake on my part. I should have just taken coins in round 1. Then Temple for Earth 1 in round 2, same as I did anyway. Making the stronghold in the wrong spot was also a mistake. And yeah, making the stronghold on F5 was just a huge mistake. I just never should have done that. Yeah, I don't know if there's too much else to say about this one. I'm just hoping that I'm just trying to run out the clock on this game now because, yeah, djinni are going to make another town. They're going to have good cult points. They honestly are probably just going to beat me then. Actually, I could just take E8, right? Why don't I just take E8? Do I care about who has network between these two guys? It looks like wisps are... It looks like... So if I'm playing for first or playing for second, if I think that I'm beating djinni or wisp, or if I think that I'm beating djinni, then I should be... If I think that I'm competitive with djinni, then I should let wisps connect here. Because wisps are likely to be competitive with djinni on network. However, I just don't know if I'm beating djinni anyway. Yeah, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Apologies for the long think, everyone. Just never know exactly what's needed. So this should be the stronghold, I think. I guess Deep Finesse doesn't need a stronghold at this point. Could just build E7, E1, and that actually is a town. My dreams are no longer that big, so... Well, maybe they should be. I can still just single dig this, right? It looks like I have something that I need to check up on, so... Sorry about that. Is it the case that was it not reading my lack of conversions correctly? So I definitely think that I hit do not convert. Yeah, it still says that I may do conversions, which is annoying. Not use. Deep Finesse makes another town. You might have noticed that I took the ship town. At this point, like, I might as well just go all in on economy. Um, it doesn't look like it's enough, to be clear. It looks like Deep Finesse should be able to go Dwelling, Temple for Air 1, TP, and then Dwelling for his final actions. Yorkshire randomly takes points away from Deep Finesse instead of me, so that's a nice break that we caught. Though I suppose that it's probably Fire 3 is probably coming. So maybe we should just defensively do this. No one has advanced digging, so no one's really threatening our hexes and stuff. Two for ones we will take. 1, 2, 3. Wait, wisps do have this. What is going on here? Why is my math so off? Yeah, my math was off. Wisps actually do have 14 networks, so I was supposed to kill their connection, or just dig I5, honestly. I'm completely off my game. So I think that we fly to I2, and then we make a TP, then we hard dig this hex. And then that's what we do with the remainder of our resources here. I2, TP, hard dig. No, we can't do that because we don't have enough structures to connect this. This is really not going our way, huh? Okay, no, wisps are 1 resource short. Okay. They are 1 resource short of doing this, so they were supposed to take the priest down instead by trying to discrete line. Hopefully they come up short there, but obviously I have no control over that. Djinni just continues stalling on making their town for whatever reason. They are welcome to do that, I suppose. Don't know if Deep Finesse needs this, don't really care. So we're going dwelling for the rest of our stuff. I'm going to keep taking these 2 for 1s. I just think that maybe there's like a temple for air 3 or like something in it at the end of this game, but maybe that's wrong because the priest action went away. I wonder if Deep Finesse is planning to give this leech to wisps, but I don't think that he can. He only has a dwelling on his board, and that's going to go on A7. He could, like, Sanctuary for Air 3 or Fire 3 or something, but that doesn't really make a lot of sense. I think he just wants to build A7 advanced ship and win this game by 1,000,000 points. I think that to end our game, we might be able to afford, at the end of everything, a temple for Air 3. No, it does look like we're a little short of that. And djinni are going to try to win fire. God, this is so annoying. Like, of course it's their right to try to win fire, but I just feel kind of like personally annoyed that they're doing this. At least they're getting no network points. But they do have a big town coming in, so. So wisps will pass, so we at least secure not last. We should have even on the network. No, I'm beating them on network by 6 points, and I'm passing for 8 points here, so I should be beating them overall. Let's do a quick count of our resources now. If we were to make a temple, that would require 2 workers, and yeah, so I can temple here. There's a priest town. Air 3, I think, is wrong. So here's why Air 3 is wrong. Deep Finesse is in position that he can send a priest to, oh no, he can't do that. If I make this TP temple for Air 3, can Deep Finesse send 2 priests to Air? He cannot. Okay, so Air 3 might be the best, but then I might just lose fire, because djinni had nothing to do other than send these priests to cults. So the other favor I could take is Water 2. So djinni can send 4 priests to these cults, right? That's just annoying, right? If I do this, where am I at? It is 12 stuff total to make a temple and to build a dwelling, right? No, it's 10 stuff total. This is 7 plus 3. Yeah, it's 10 stuff total to go temple dwelling. So let's build a dwelling first. Wisps are saying that they had they were auto declining power. But I do agree with you, SJ. Water 2 might just be better than any other options here. djinni are forced to commit here, so they do need to put a priest to either water or air, or fire or air. So the priest goes to fire, so we are going to take Water 2. Yeah. This is a clear Water 2. So deep finesse will pass at 130. Then he'll have a resource point 131. Wins network outright 149. Seems pretty good. Djinni can tie me here, but I can take a point away from deep finesse. But deep finesse is miles and miles ahead of me, so I think it's more important to just take this cult away from djinni. So this also, yeah. Enough said about that. Djinni should just pass now. They're at, to keep the resource point, that would be 112. They're last on network, but they have, so it's 112 plus 8, 120, 124, 128, 130. Do I have 130? I'm passing for 8. I have 12 on network. I think I have exactly 130, so I'm tying with djinni. It looks like. Very poor game here. It should have been, yes, locks. It should have been water 1 at the start of the round. Agreed. So there were lots and lots of mistakes this game. Like my biggest ones though, I don't think that like this sanctuary for the coin town was pretty iffy, but it did win me the fire cult and it got me extra power, so I'm not that concerned about it. SJ, why was I unable to do 3 towns? Great question. Wisps did this thing in round 1 where they flew to d4 and then, so they were on f7. They left e8 alone. Then they flew to d4 and then they, instead of taking c6, which was perfect for them to make this town, this is a gray hex, right? They instead turned this to blue and this to black, and that kind of killed both of us, I think, in my opinion. Yeah, in my opinion, that killed both of us. Now, deep finesse also is clever in not building b5, so that's another thing that deep finesse did. And the third thing that happened this game, which I think is pretty important, is that I upgraded f5 on the. I upgraded f5. This was wrong. The commitment to b4/c2 could have been consolidated to a town. Agreed. Well, no, because that would require another spade, right? Like, where's that spade coming from? I got the stronghold in round 1. So my issue is that I prioritize connecting here, and then there's only one cult spade. And I was thinking that deep finesse would build b5, but deep finesse actually got onto temp ship that round. And that temp ship was pretty important because it allowed him to build a bunch of dwellings while not building b5. So that was a good read in that one dwellings round. But yeah, I mean, I made a really bad read with f5. I also made a really bad read by not taking the single spade on e8. I was supposed to take the single spade on e8 in round 1 as well. But instead, deep finesse made a no temples opening, where he single dug f4, hard dug g4, and then built h3 in round 1. It was a very cool opening, but I also was supposed to see it coming. I wasn't supposed to let it get to this point, so that is definitely my bad. I shouldn't have needed fire 2 this game. I have TPs stranded here, and yeah, I have a stranded TP, so that could have been in here. Yeah, it was just not the type of Witches game that I like to have. So I'm pretty unhappy about this one. Like, upgrading f5 was just wrong, right? Like, I got greedy, and I thought that I could get double dig and still get g4, but I just, like, forgot about architects being able to do this. And another thing that I completely forgot about was that, and this was just a bad break, djinni starting on f5 instead of h4. Now, maybe this was f4. Maybe this was foreseeable, right? Like, this might have been foreseeable because djinni are just, like, they don't actually have a very good shot at making this town. Because wisps are likely to take g5 away. But, like, giving architects this stretch, like, I think that we're all bidding architects most heavily if we know that architects are getting this stretch. And also, the other thing that the main reason why I didn't pick architects was wisps could start on d4 and just bomb c6. And I think that was actually a pretty good line for them to take c6 away from architects. If that happens, architects have a much harder game, and the game is a lot more even as well. But unfortunately, architects just got literally everything they wanted. So like, it's like there's nothing to say about that. Like I think that this game was over in round one. In terms of the winner, I could have played better, a lot better throughout the game, though. I have to own that I didn't play as well as I could have. I should have beaten Gorstra here, I think. I was wrong to like lose out on that. This is just not enough. You need more than this. I needed more than this. I needed more spades. Djinni also denied me the spades, which was good on them, but yeah, I needed more of them. I got like a mediocre Earth 1 as my only scoring favor. I only got one town in the town round. I didn't even pass well because I should have just taken the ship town. Like that's obvious now for more points. And yeah, like maybe you could argue that I should have just taken like a boatload more leech in the last round as well. Take water 1 and then just prepare to like eat, like get wrecked by like all that leech. But yeah, this was not the game that I wanted to be. I think a lot of it was just misreading the color wheel and also misreading my opponents. Like, how can I know that? Like, wisps fly to d4, fine. Why would I think that they're coming after d5 and c7 instead of just taking c6? Take c6, and then when you upgrade this, you get c5 and c7. And djinni not starting f4, maybe I should have just seen that coming, but then like maybe we were supposed to be bidding architects a lot more heavily. Because djinni are on f4, they're able to carve through this town. I lose this, and also architects aren't forced to bridge town up through here, so I don't get neighbors for a third town. I mean, you live and you learn. You can't win them all. It is sad not to be able to at least perform a little better than this during this game, but we got our fair share of breaks as or in last game, so can't get them all. That's about it. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for chatting. Like, it's not the outcome that we wanted, but it was still a game, so hopefully you guys enjoyed watching it. I will see y'all next time.